So, dear students, in today's class, we are going to discuss what is meant by inflation and what are the different types of inflation, and then what are the reasons for inflation. All these we'll discuss in today's class. So, here you can see in this cartoon that inflation is a big stone. So, what is happening? The poor man is crushing below this stone. That means inflation means rising prices continuously. So that is not at all beneficial to the poor people. And whatever the government is giving relief, see here you can see the two drops. So whatever the government is giving relief to control the inflation, that is very minimum only. So inflation. So what we can say here, so how it is nature, how it is, so how it is going to affect, and what is the inflation nature, scope and control. So here you can see this. The economy is bulging. Here you can see the stomach. So the economy is bulging. Here inflation is very less. Whenever inflation is increasing, what is happening to the economy means it is decreasing. The tummy is decreasing. And when the inflation is unbearable, what is happening to the human being? You can see this. So, inflation, if at all it is controllable, this is beneficial to the economy. If it is in between, so little difficulty will be there in the economy, and inflation is uncontrollable, then it is not at all beneficial to the economy. So what is the meaning of inflation? Inflation means it's a rise in the general level of prices of goods and services in an economy over a period of time. That means the general level of prices of goods and services, it will be increasing. So when the general price level rises, each unit of currency buys fewer goods and services. That means if at all any good we are buying at 10 rupees, when the prices are increasing means we have to pay 20 rupees for the same product. So then what is happening means each unit of currency, that means in place of 10 rupees we are putting 20 rupees. So each unit of currency buys fewer goods and services. That means whenever we are paying more means the each rupee is buying capacity is decreasing, we can say. So inflation means a rise in the general level of prices. Inflation is defined as a sustained increase in the price level or fall in the value of money. So you can say here inflation means a sustained increase in the price level or fall in the value of money. Just now whatever the example I have explained, for one good, if you are paying 10 rupees earlier, now you are paying 20 rupees means, so the value of money, earlier only with 10 rupees you are able to buy, now you have to pay 20 rupees. That means the value of money is decreasing. It is measured as a rate percentage per unit time, say a year or month. That means a rate percentage per unit time. So when the level of currency of a country exceeds the level of production, that means in any economy, comparatively to the production, the level of currency is exceeding, then inflation occurs. Value of money depreciates with the occurrence of inflation. So value of money is decreasing here. And what is happening here means so there are variations in inflation. You can see here, here the peak portion we are calling it as inflation, and if at all it is decreasing, and comparatively this is not a peak point, then we are calling it as stagflation. And when we are comparing the prices are decreasing, then we are calling it as deflation. You can see three types here: inflation, stagflation and deflation. Are you able to see the screen? Are you able to see the screen? So here, variations in inflation. So here you can see that inflation, stagflation, deflation. Deflation is when the general level of prices is falling. So this is the opposite of inflation. So completely the opposite situation is occurring in any economy. We are calling it as deflation. That means inflation means continuous rise in the general level of prices. Deflation means general level of prices is falling. Then hyperinflation is unusually rapid inflation. Hyper means so the rapid inflation, it is increasing rapidly. In extreme cases, this can lead to the breakdown of a nation's monetary system. When inflation is increasing rapidly, then we can call it as hyperinflation. Then stagflation. Stagflation means is the combination of high unemployment and economic stagnation with inflation. Here you can see that stagflation means the middle, whatever the situation is there. That means in between inflation and deflation, that stagflation is there. So is the combination of high unemployment. Unemployment is more, and economic stagnation will be there with inflation. That we are calling it as stagnation means everything is stable, nothing is improving. So that type of situation, economic stagnation, and inflation is also there, continuous rise of prices is also there, then we are calling it as stagflation. And here, so rate of inflation. Rate of inflation is the rate of change of the general price level. Rate of change of the general price level, we are calling it as rate of inflation. So when we are taking the time period, so here we are calling it as pt minus pt minus 1. So what is pt minus 1? What is pt means price level in the year t. So when we are calculating the price level this year 2021, and pt minus 1 means price level in the year t minus 1, that is base year. That means we will take the base year which is free from disturbances in the economy. That year we will take the base year and we will calculate the price level in the year t. So then we are calling it as rate of inflation. If there is a decline in the rate of inflation, such a situation is called disinflation. That means rate of inflation is decreasing, then we are calling it as disinflation. So here you can see that what is rate of inflation, and then what is the formula, that is t is equals to pt minus 1. So this is extra here, it is repeated. So here if there is a decline in the rate of inflation, such a situation is called disinflation. So here you can see this effect of inflation. So what is happening with inflation? What is the effect of inflation on investment, interest rates, exchange rates? That means when we are exchanging our currency with other countries' currency, how the exchange rates are changing. Then unemployment, stocks. Stocks means whatever the goods are storing, then we are calling it as stocks. Decrease in the purchasing power. So whenever the unemployment is more, what is happening to the income means income is decreasing, and decrease in the purchasing power will be taking place, and change the allocation of income. So when income, whatever we are getting earlier comparatively, if we are getting lesser income, so the allocation will be changing. So earlier if you are getting 50,000 for example as income, so you will be buying so many things and then your allocation will be different. For example, if you are getting 20,000 now in place of 50,000, your allocation pattern will be different. So that change the allocation of income. So these are the effects how you are going to see in investment, then interest rates, exchange rates, unemployment, stocks, decrease in the purchasing power, change the allocation of income. And what are the causes of inflation? There are two types of causes. One is factors and demand side. So as usually, why the, we can see there are two types, two sides. One is demand side and the second one is supply side. Here, what are the causes of inflation when we are seeing the demand side? Increase in money supply. So whenever there is an increase in money supply in the economy, then it will causes inflation. Increase in disposable income. That means whenever the income is increasing and personal taxes are decreasing, then we can say that increase in disposable income. And deficit financing. Deficit financing means whenever we are preparing any budget, we'll see that government revenue and government expenditure. What is happening with these government revenue and government expenditure? If government revenue is more than government expenditure, then we are calling it as surplus budget. When revenue is more than expenditure, we are calling it as surplus budget. When expenditure is more than income, then we are calling it as deficit budget. Expenditure is more and income is less, then we are calling it as deficit budget. When revenue and expenditure both are equal, then we are calling it as balanced budget. So whenever there is a deficit, that means expenditure is more than revenue, how we are going to finance that deficit? That also causes inflation. Then foreign exchange reserves also causing inflation. And what are the factors on supply side? So are you able to hear? Any disturbance is there? Anyone can respond? Any disturbance is there? Okay. So here we are seeing that factors and demand side. So increase in money supply, increase in disposable income, deficit financing and foreign exchange reserves, all these cause inflation from demand side. And what are the factors on supply side? So here rise in administered prices. Administered prices means whichever goods we are going to establish in the market, for that we are going to whatever we are incurring, those we are calling it as administered prices. So this will be increasing. Then erratic agricultural growth. That means agricultural growth is not happening according to the demand from the people. So that is called erratic agricultural growth. That means demand will be more and supply is less. So that is the reason the prices are increasing in the economy. And agricultural price policy. So how the price policy is there in agricultural sector. So whether it is encouraging to increase the supply from the side of farmers or not. So that is also showing effect. And then inadequate industrial growth. That means whoever demanding goods, so either the industries are able to produce these goods, so growth is happening in the industrial sector or not. If at all the growth is happening or if it is growth is taking place, that is not sufficient, then we are calling it as inadequate industrial growth. So supply side, there are so many factors like rise in administered prices, erratic agricultural growth, agricultural price policy, inadequate industrial growth. So there are two types. One is factors on demand side which causes inflation, factors on supply side which causes inflation. So from two sides it causes inflation. And what are the causes of inflation? So if you see what are the different types, means the first one, that is demand pull inflation, means here you can see that when the demand is more, it will pull the inflation, means it will create inflation. That type we are calling it as demand pull inflation. This theory can be summarized as too much money chasing too few goods. Goods are less, but money means so many people are ready to buy those few goods. So that is the reason we are calling it as too much money chasing too few goods. This usually occurs in growing economies. The demand for goods and services increases and production remains the same or does not increase as fast as the excess demand. So, for example, if the demand is increasing for goods and services, production is also increasing. But as demand for goods and services are increasing in the same ratio, the production is not increasing. So then excess demand results in prices being pulled up. That means the demand is excess here and it results in prices being pulled up. Pulled up means there is an increase in the prices of goods and services. Demand pull inflation occurs when total demand for goods and services exceeds the total supply. So total demand for goods and services exceeds the total supply. This type of inflation happens when there is an inflationary trend. So we can see this. So inflationary gap, you can say. So this type of inflation, what is going to happen when there is an inflationary gap? So here we are discussing the types of inflation. First one is demand pull inflation. The demand for goods and services increases, but not the production is increasing in the same manner. So what is happening means the prices are pulled up. And demand pull inflation occurs when total demand for goods and services exceeds the total supply. Here you can see this, the diagram. Here we can see what is the effect on. So here we are seeing that on y-axis we are measuring price and on x-axis we are measuring real GDP. So how it is going to affect, how the prices are changing and real GDP, how it is changing, that relation between real GDP and price we can see here. Here this is the aggregate supply. It is upward sloping curve. And here the blue curve is aggregate demand. So aggregate demand 1. So initially what is happening? So this P1 is the price and Q1 is the real GDP. So what is happening means aggregate supply is remaining the same. And here why the demand pull inflation is occurring? So demand is increasing, but the production is not increasing in the same manner like demand is increasing. So the new aggregate demand curve is the green curve. Here what is happening means the prices are increasing, and what is happening, the real GDP means it is also increasing. So there is a price rise here. So from P1 to P2. Why means aggregate supply is not equal to the aggregate demand. So whenever aggregate demand is increasing and the same manner the supply is not increasing, it results in the rise in the prices. So are you able to understand this graph? Are you able to understand this graph? Okay. So here demand pull inflation means on y-axis we are measuring price and the x-axis real GDP. So aggregate supply, it's only one curve, and aggregate demand is there means P1 is the price. So there is no change in the price. Why the change in the price is occurring means aggregate demand is increasing, but not the aggregate supply is increasing according to aggregate demand. So that is the reason that aggregate demand is increasing, so the prices are increasing. And the second type is cost push inflation. Here you can see how the words we are using. Demand pull inflation means whenever the demand is more than the supply, it is pulling inflation. That means they are forced to increase the prices. Here cost push. So whatever the supply from the side of suppliers, this cost is pushing towards inflation. When companies' costs go up, they need to increase prices to maintain their profit margins. So the cost, that means the cost of production is going up. They need to increase prices to maintain their profit margins. This is caused by an increase in the cost of production. Increased costs push up the price level. So when the companies, while producing goods and services, What is happening to the cost means costs are increasing. That is, cost of production is increasing. That is the reason the producers are increasing the prices. So they are pushing the prices up. So that is the reason we are calling it as cost push inflation. Cost push inflation can result from change in aggregate supply. The two main sources of change in aggregate supply are increase in wage rate and price of raw material. So here, what is happening when the laborers are agitating for the increase in the wage rate and the prices of raw materials are increasing means what is going to happen means the producers cost of production in the process of supply, it is increasing. Then what is happening means the cost of production is increasing means the producer is forced to increase the prices. So that is the reason we are calling it as cost push inflation. So are you following the what is the difference between demand pull and cost push? Is it clear? So, what is the difference between demand pull inflation? So, demand pull inflation means from the side of consumer, and cost push inflation means from the side of producer. Here we can say, and here cost push inflation means you can see here price we are taking and real GDP we are taking here, and here you can see that there is aggregate demand curve is only one, and aggregate supply is that pink curve. Initially it is the aggregate supply one, so the price is OP1 and then OQ1 is the real GDP. So what is happening means the cost of production is increasing when the laborers are demanding for higher wages, or what is happening means the prices of raw materials are increasing. So the producers are forced to increase the prices. So here you can see this aggregate supply 2 curve. What is happening means aggregate demand is the same curve, but it is shifting aggregate supply 2 curve. So what is happening means the real GDP is decreasing and the price is increasing. So that is the reason we are calling it as cost push inflation. So cost is pushing the producer to increase the prices. So this difference are you able to understand? ఏమా అర్థమవుతుందా? So demand pull inflation means there is only one supply curve, and there is only one supply curve and aggregate demand curve we are showing first initially one curve, and then we are showing the aggregate demand curve second curve. What is happening means when there is a increase in demand, how it is causing effect on inflation, that we are showing with the help of this demand pull inflation. And the second one is cost push inflation. Here you can see that aggregate demand is only one curve, and why the inflation is occurring in this economy means so there is an increase in the wage rate or cost of the raw materials are increasing. So that is the reason the inflation is occurring. So here we are calling it as cost push inflation. And how we can control this inflation. And one more thing is also there, that is mixed inflation. So both the factors will work here. So there are three types. One is demand pull inflation, second one cost push inflation, third one mixed inflation. So mixed inflation means both will work here. So aggregate demand and aggregate supply, both the factors will work, and that is the reason why the prices are increasing in the economy. And here, how we can control inflation. There are so many measures by which we can control. So government will take monetary measures, fiscal measures, and other measures also to control inflation. So have you understood the difference between cost push and demand pull? Anyone can respond? Have you understood the difference? సో డిమాండ్ పుల్ అంటే ఏమి, కాస్ట్ పుష్ అంటే ఏమి, క్లియర్గా అర్థమైందా? Okay. So here how we have to control this inflation. So different types of inflation, different types of measures it will government will take to control inflation. So monetary measures, fiscal measures, and then other measures also we can see here. So here these are the monetary measures. Credit control. So yesterday RBI credit control methods we have discussed. Central bank should pursue credit control policy. In order to control cash reserve ratio, it can also issue notice to other banks in order to control credit. That means credit control measures can be taken up by the central bank. And deficit financing means whenever the expenditure is more than the revenue, government's expenditure is more than the revenue, then there is a possibility that we can call it as deficit finance. So the expenditures are increasing comparatively to the revenue, so there is a deficit. So how we have to cope up with this deficit, we are calling it as deficit financing. That means we have to finance or fill the gap in the deficit. It means printing of new currency notes by Reserve Bank of India. If more new notes are printed, it will increase the supply of money and increasing demand and prices also. That means it can control this monetary measures also. So issue of new currency means the RBI will issue new currency notes replacing many old notes. So this will reduce the supply of money in the economy. So these are the monetary measures, that credit control methods which are taken up by the central bank, and deficit financing, that means printing of new currency notes by RBI, and how it is going to reduce the supply of money in the economy we can see here. So these are the monetary measures. And what are the fiscal measures means? Reduction in unnecessary expenditure. Here we are saying that government's expenditure is more than the revenue. So what we can see that we can reduce the unnecessary expenditure from the side of government. And how we are going to increase the revenue means we can increase the taxes that we are going to collect from the people. So in place of 1,000 rupees, for example, we can increase the taxes so that in place of 1,000 it can pay 2,000, like that. So what is happening means, then the expenditure is more than revenue. We are aiming either to reduce the expenditure or increase the revenue of the government. And here increase in savings also. Then public debt. Public debt means where the government takes loans from the public, and imposition of new taxes. The old taxes, that percentage it can increase or it can impose the new taxes. And wage control. So here what is happening means, cost push inflation, laborers are demanding a rise in the wages. So that is the reason here wage control methods are following by the government means these laborers will not demand for the increase in the wages, so there will not be any cost push inflation. So that is the reason that wages can be controlled. And then rationing, the central bank can take this measure. And then maintaining surplus budget, that means here we are aiming at to achieve surplus budget. That means revenue is more than the expenditure. That means the government is aiming to increase the revenue when compared to expenditure, then it can maintain the surplus budget. So all these are the methods by which the taxation related measures, we can call them as fiscal measures. And the second one is first one is monetary measures. Monetary measures means all these methods which can be undertaken by the central bank, that is RBI, these measures we can call them as monetary measures. And fiscal measures means in the taxation policy the government is taking any changes, then we are calling them as fiscal measures. And other measures, the, there are different measures like to increase production, rational wage policy, and prices can be controlled, increase in imports of raw materials. So here, what is happening means raw materials prices are increasing. That is the reason that cost push inflation is occurring. So what we are going to do here means we can import the raw materials at lesser prices from other countries also, and decrease in exports. So whatever we are exporting to the other countries, that we are going to decrease. And provision of subsidies means the production can be increased by giving subsidies to the producers. And use of latest technology means the supply can be increased within a short span of time by using latest technology. And rational industrial policy, all these are the other measures. So have you understood this? What are the different types or measures we are taking? So the first one is monetary measures, second one is fiscal measures, and the third one is other measures. So are you following this? Are you following the difference between monetary measures, fiscal measures, and then other measures? So here, how is it measured? That means when inflation is there in the economy, how we are going to calculate this inflation. There are two types. One is consumer price index and the second one is wholesale price index. Consumer price index means the price which is existing in the general market, that we are calling it as consumer price index. And the second one is wholesale price index means wholesale, what is the price which is prevailing in the economy, that we are calling it as wholesale price index. Consumer price index means it is a measure estimating the average price of consumer goods and services purchased by the household. So that means from the side of consumers, what is the average price which the consumers are paying towards the purchase of goods and services, that we are calling it as consumer price index. It is measure a price change for a constant market basket of goods and services from one period to the next within the same area. That means in one area, how the prices are changing from time to time, how it is changing. That is, it will calculate that. That is called consumer price index. It is a price index determined by measuring the price of a standard group of goods meant to represent the typical market basket of a typical urban consumer. So the percentage change in the CPI is a measure estimating inflation. So how the consumer price index is changing and the percentage change in the consumer price index. So we can say this is a measure of estimating inflation. So by which we can calculate the inflation. So now there are two types of indexes. One is indices we can call. One is consumer price index and the second one is wholesale price index. So wholesale price index was published in 1902 and was one of the economic indicators available to policy makers until it was replaced by most developing countries by the CPI market. That means from the olden times, we were following the wholesale price index only. After that, this consumer price index is also introduced in the economy during 1970s. So wholesale price index is the index that is used to measure the change in the average price level of goods traded in wholesale market. So in the wholesale market, how the prices are changing and average price level of goods, how it is changing, that we are calculating. And some countries use WPI changes as a central measure of inflation. However, India and the United States now report a producer price index instead. That means how we are calculating the consumer price index in the same manner, we can calculate the producer price index. So, what are the different problems with the wholesale price index? So, here consumers are spending loads of money on services like education and health, and these services are not incorporated in calculation. So, consumers, how whatever they are spending, that are not included in wholesale price index. So, that is the reason that Indian economy has shifted from wholesale price index to consumer price index while calculating inflation. And Keynesian economics proposes that changes in money supply do not directly affect prices, and that visible inflation is a result of pressures in the economy expressing themselves in prices. That means here what is happening means supply will not affect directly prices. Visible inflation is the result of pressures in the economy. So there are so many pressures are occurring in the economy, and that is the result that prices are increasing. And demand pull inflation means aggregate demand due to increase in private and government spending. So this is the reason why demand pull inflation is occurring in any economy. And cost push inflation means there is a drop in aggregate supply, and due to natural disorders or increase in prices of inputs, this inflation is occurring in any economy. So already we have discussed this monetarist view, that is MV is equals to PQ. That means here the government spending and taxation. What is happening means we can see here that M is the nominal quantity of money, V is the velocity of money. Already we have discussed that Irving Fisher's quantity theory of money. So here what we are seeing means Q means it is an index of the real value of final expenditure. So monetarists are aiming this. And here the very important, this is called Phillips curve. So here what we are seeing means on y-axis we are measuring wage growth, and on x-axis we are measuring unemployment. The Phillips curve shows an inverse relationship between inflation and unemployment. So, what is happening with the inflation and what is the effect of inflation on unemployment? It suggested that if governments wanted to reduce unemployment, it has to accept higher inflation as a trade-off. That means what is happening means here what is happening means the Phillips curve, we are explaining the relationship between inflation and unemployment. If you want to control or reduce unemployment, sometimes we have to accept that inflation in the economy. What is the money illusion means wage rates rising, but individuals not factoring in inflation on real wage rates. That means what is happening means in wages there are two types. One is money wage and the second one is real wage. Money wage means after working, whatever they are receiving in terms of money, that wage we are calling it as money wage. And whatever we are receiving as money wage, with that we are able to purchase goods and services, then we are calling it as real wage rates. So here wage rates are rising, but individuals not factoring in inflation on real wage rates. And here you can see that inflation, Indian inflation rate, how it is changing. And this is a bird's eye view from year to year, how it is changing. So now here what is happening means India's CPI regulation, CPI inflation rate and IIP growth rate means retail inflation is just 4.29% and IIP grows 22.4% in March. So what is happening here means retail inflation, how it is changing, and here what is happening, the index of industrial production, that is IIP, how it is changing in the economy. Here inflation, retail inflation, it is decreasing, but index of industrial production means it is increasing. 22.4% in March. So what is happening means here retail inflation is decreasing, but index of industrial production is increasing. So the retail inflation March was 5.52%, but later on what is happening means it has decreased to 4.2%. And this index of industrial production is 22.4%. So are you able to follow all this? Anyone can respond? Are you able to follow? So how is this topic? How is this topic is interesting? Hmm. So any doubts in this? So once again we are going to discuss what are the different things. So here what is inflation means? Inflation is a rise in the general level of prices, we can say that. And what are the variations of inflation? That is inflation, then deflation and stagflation. And how the rate of inflation is calculated, that is pt minus pt minus 1. And what are the effects of inflation, and what are the causes of inflation? There are two types of causes. One is factors on demand side, and factors on supply side. And what are the causes of inflation? That is, what are the types of inflation? Why the demand pull inflation is occurring in any economy? So here aggregate supply is only one curve, and if at all there is an increase in the demand, what is happening to the prices means prices are increasing. So we are calling it as demand pull inflation. And cost push inflation we are calculating from the side of producers. What is happening means here aggregate demand curve is one, and increase in the supply or aggregate supply is causing inflation in the economy. That we are calling it as cost push inflation. And third type, mixed inflation. That means both from demand side and supply side, the factors are causing inflation. That we are calling it as mixed inflation. And how we can control inflation? So there are three types of measures that government will undertake. One is monetary measures. If the central bank is taking any measures to control inflation, those measures we are calling them as monetary measures. And the government is taking any measures towards controlling inflation, those measures we are calling them as fiscal measures. And the other measures means the different measures by which they can control inflation. And how it is measured means there are two types. One is consumer price index and second one is wholesale price index. And how these are changing, and Keynesian view, what is happening, and what is the monetarist view, and what is the Phillips curve. So whenever the economy is aiming to reduce the unemployment, so it has to bear inflation up to a certain level. Then only it can reduce unemployment. As a trade-off means, in place of decreasing unemployment, here you can see here. So from 1.5%, if the inflation is increasing to 2.5%, then only we are able to control 6% of unemployment rate to 4%. That means when we want to decrease the unemployment rate from 6% to 4%, automatically we have to increase the prices from 1.5% to 2.5%. So this we can call it as trade-off. So in place of decreasing unemployment, we have to increase the prices up to a certain level. So that is called Phillips curve. So this is the curve which was explained by Philip. So that is on his name only, this curve we are explaining, that is Phillips curve. And then in India, what is the inflation rate? Here you can see this. What is the inflation rate in India in 2021? From 2020, how it is changing, we can see here. Are you able to see the screen? Screen కనిపిస్తుందమ్మా? Okay. So here what is happening means in 2020, the inflation rate in India was around 6.2% compared to the previous year. So here you can see that here 2019 it is 4.76%, and 2020 the COVID-19, so 6.2%, and 2021 4.89%, and 2020 we are just estimating that what is going to happen means that is 4.07 means it is going to decrease, that we can see here. So in October 2020, what is inflation means it is the highest in 6 years to 7.61%, and food inflation jumps to 11.0. That means there was a crisis for food grains in the COVID-19 time. So that is the reason here that India's inflation was highest in October 2020. So here what is happening means that food inflation jumps to 11.07%. So in consumer price index also there is a separate index that we can call it as consumer food price index. So in consumer price index there are two types. One is general consumer price index and the second one is consumer food price index, means towards food grains what is the price index which is showing. And inflation of clothing and footwear, so this is less. Comparatively housing inflation was also less, but what is more means inflation, food inflation is very high in 2020. So are you understanding what is the effect of inflation? Is it clear? Any doubts? So everything is clear. So why you are not telling your friends to join in the class? Only nine, for nine people I am teaching. Hmm? Why other students are not joining? Emma, VHP English medium. How many students are there? 19, no? Then how many are joining here? Hamsera EHP English medium kada. Then Niharika. Then Rakshita and Pushpa. Four only, no? Nine. Huh? వాళ్ళు కూడా EHP నేనా? Okay, then one, two, three, four, 5, 6 members. Siva వాళ్ళు ముగ్గురేనా? సుప్రజ, భార్గవి, దివ్యశ్రీ. సిఏ కదా పాప? దివ్యశ్రీ. ఈహెచ్పి నేనా? సో యూ టెల్ ద అదర్ పీపుల్ ఆల్సో, అంటే సిఏలో ఏంది ఇద్దరైనా, భార్గవి అండ్ సుప్రజ. ఓన్లీ 2 స్టూడెంట్స్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ 25. ఇంతమంది మైక్ అన్మ్యూట్ చేస్తే లాట్ ఆఫ్ డిస్టర్బెన్స్. ముగ్గురు మైక్ ఆన్ చేసుకున్నారు, అందుకే నాది రీసౌండ్ వస్తుంది. భార్గవి, నిహారిక, ఎవరు మాట్లాడతారో వాళ్ళు ఒకటి అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకోండి. సుధా జాయిన్ కాలేదా? సిఏ సుధా. సో యూ టెల్ దెమ్ అట్లీస్ట్ సిలబస్ ఈజ్ గోయింగ్ ఆన్ అనేటువంటిది వాళ్ళకి కన్వే చేయండి. ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయమ్మా? ఓకే అమ్మా. సో కెన్ వి క్లోజ్ ద సెషన్? ఎనీథింగ్ యూ వాంట్ టు షేర్? ఏమా? ఓకే. ఓకే, బాయ్.